The trade station of Port Arlo was always loud. Ships landed and left all day. People from many worlds walked through the metal streets. Everyone was busy buying, selling, and moving fast. But in the corner near Dock 9, a young woman sat quietly. Her name was Nara. She was from the planet Velar, home of the Velari people. Her skin was soft blue, her eyes golden, and her hair long and silver. She wore an old gray cloak, and her left sleeve was empty because she had no left arm. Nara had lost her arm 2 years ago. Pirates had attacked her village. They came for food and supplies, and when her people refused, they burned homes and hurt anyone who got in the way. Nara tried to protect her little brother and ended up under a fallen wall. She lived. But her arm did not. Her brother survived too, but he still could not walk right. She promised to return to him one day with strength, with something better. But first, she needed a prosthetic arm, a strong one that could carry tools and maybe even hold a weapon. It was expensive, too expensive. That's why she sat there every day on the ground, holding a small sign made from scrap metal. It said, "For sale. One Velari woman will serve as worker or helper. Needs arm to go home." People passed by. Some read the sign and looked away. Some laughed. Others just walked past like she didn't exist. A group of rich traders from Terra's Prime stopped one day. One of them, a tall woman in red, said, "No use buying broken things." The others chuckled and walked off. Nara said nothing. She just sat still. Inside, she felt small, but she didn't cry. Not here. Not in front of strangers. That evening, as the station lights turned blue for night mode, a shadow stopped near her stall. She looked up. It was a human man, maybe in his 30s. He wore dusty work clothes and carried a toolbox. His brown hair was messy, and he had oil stains on his hands. He read her sign quietly. Then he asked, "You really want someone to buy you?" Nara looked down. "Not to own me, just to help me. I'll work. I just need enough to get a good arm." He nodded slowly. "You from Velar?" She nodded. "My name's Tom." He said, "I fix engines. I've seen Velari tech very clean. Designed." Nara looked surprised. "You've worked with Velari machines?" "A few. Years ago," he replied. "You're the first Velari I've met in person, though." There was a pause. Tom didn't move. He looked at her arm. "How long has it been?" 2 years, she said quietly. "I couldn't save my arm. I couldn't save my village. But I can still save my brother." Tom didn't smile, but something in his eyes changed. He said, "You know no one here is going to buy a person, right? That's not legal anymore. Not even on the Outer Rim." "I know," Nara said, "but they still buy things with legs and metal arms. So I thought maybe they'd see me as something useful." "That's not right," Tom said. "You're not a tool." Nara shrugged. "I need help. Tools don't ask for food. I don't need much either." Tom stood there for a long minute, thinking. Then he said, "Come with me. I'm not going to buy you, but I can give you work." Nara stared at him. "Why? You need help." "I need someone who can learn fast." "That's fair. I have one arm. You have 2 eyes, don't you?" "That's enough." She blinked, surprised by his tone. She stood slowly, a little nervous. "Okay." Tom led her to a small workshop near the cargo bay. The shop was old, filled with parts and wires. But it was clean. He handed her a rag. "Can you clean those boards carefully? Don't bend the wires." She nodded. Her one hand moved slowly, but with care. She didn't speak, and neither did he. They worked in silence for an hour. Then Tom brought out a small meal, bread and soup. "For you," he said. "Part of the job." She hesitated. "I'll pay back." "Already are," he said, pointing to the clean boards. She smiled, just a little. From that day on, Nara came to Tom's shop. Every morning, she left her metal sign behind and came to work. She cleaned, sorted wires, and learned names of tools. Her one hand became fast. Her eyes caught tiny cracks in circuits. She fixed small problems no one else noticed. Tom said little, but he started to leave harder jobs for her. He even asked her opinion once. "You think this motor can run without Burning up. He asked Dot. She checked it. Only if we cool it with a double fan. He nodded. Smart. Each night, Nora sat in the corner of the shop, looking at the stars through a dusty window. She still had no arm. But now, she had work. She had food. And she had someone who looked at her like she mattered. One night, Tom brought in a heavy box. He opened it, and inside was something wrapped in cloth. Found this in the salvage lot. He said, "It's old, maybe broken, but it's a prosthetic arm." Nora's eyes widened. "You got this, for me. We'll fix it," he said. Together, she touched the metal gently. It was heavy, but strong. Not pretty, but real. For the first time in months, Nora felt something warm inside her chest. Not hope. Not yet. But maybe the start of it. She whispered, "Thank you." Tom didn't say anything. He just handed her a tool and said, "Let's get to work." The next few weeks passed slowly, but with purpose. Every morning, Nora reached Tom's shop before the station lights turned white. She cleaned the workbenches, sorted parts, and studied the machines. She was quiet, focused, and always ready to learn. Tom didn't speak much either, but when he spoke, his words had meaning. "Hold the board steady," he would say. "Wire color matters. Never mix green with red. Check the circuit twice before the power goes in." Nora listened carefully. She had only one arm, but she used it well. Her fingers were strong, and her eyes were sharp. Tom began trusting her with harder work like aligning power cells and checking ship fuses. One afternoon, after they fixed a cooling fan for a cargo shuttle, Nora looked at the metal arm they kept on the side bench. It was old and full of dust, but each day they cleaned one part of it. Bit by bit, it looked more alive. "I still can't believe you found that arm," she said softly. Tom wiped his hands with a cloth. It was buried under a pile of junk. "Most people didn't even notice it. Why did you?" He looked at her and replied, "Because I knew someone who would need it." Nora smiled. A small one, but real. Later that day, a customer came in, a tall man with thick gloves and a red badge on his jacket. He looked around the shop and saw Nora behind the counter. "You letting aliens work here now?" he asked Tom. Tom didn't even look up. "She's better with tech than you are with manners." The man grunted and walked out without buying anything. Nora stood quietly. "Maybe I shouldn't work at the front desk." Tom shook his head. "You have the right to stand anywhere in this shop. Don't let fools make you hide." That night, Nora sat on the bench beside the half-repaired arm. She looked at the fingers, still missing the joints. "What if we can't finish it?" she asked. Tom walked over and sat across from her. "We will. Might take time, but we'll finish it, even if we do," she said. "I still don't have enough money to go home. Ships are too costly." Tom didn't answer right away. He leaned back and looked at the ceiling, where wires hung like vines. Then he said, "Maybe you don't need money. Maybe you just need the right partner." Nora looked confused. "What do you mean?" "I mean, if someone helps you not with coins, but with tools and time, you could still reach home. Not as a servant, but as someone strong." Nora thought about that. "You're helping me." "Why?" Tom looked her in the eye. "Because I've seen a lot of people on this station. Most just drift. You don't. You have purpose. That matters." She looked down. "I'm not strong." "You are," Tom said. "You came here alone. You asked for help with your head held high. That's strength." The next day, Tom showed her something new. A damaged energy stabilizer from a mining ship. It was large, cracked, and dangerous to open without care. "I need you to help me take it apart," he said. Nora hesitated. "What if I make a mistake?" "Then we learn from it," he said simply. With her one arm and careful eyes, Nora followed his instructions. Step by step, they pulled apart the device. Inside, she found broken chips and burnt wires, but also a rare power crystal, still glowing faintly. Tom looked surprised. "That's worth a lot." Nora asked, "Can we sell it?" "We could," Tom said, "but I have a better idea." He pulled a heavy box from the back room. Inside was a small plasma welder, just the right size to fix the missing joints in the prosthetic arm. "We'll trade the crystal for parts," he said. "Then we finish the arm." And they did. It took to more weeks, but one by one, the arm came together. They used scraps from the workshop, leftover wires from old drones, and soft padding for the inside socket. When the last part was in place, Tom brought over a small machine with a screen. "This will test the nerve link," he said. "If it works, the arm will move when you think." Nara was nervous. Her heart beat fast. Tom helped her place the metal arm on her shoulder stump. There was a soft click as it connected. "Ready?" he asked. She nodded. Tom activated the link. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the fingers of the prosthetic arm twitched. Nara gasped. She focused. The fingers moved more. Then the wrist, then the elbow. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. She looked at Tom with wide eyes. "I can feel it. Not like before. But I can move it." Tom smiled. "Told you we'd finish it." Tears welled in Nara's eyes, but she blinked them back. "Thank you," she whispered. "You earned it." Tom replied. That evening, as they cleaned the shop, Nara asked, "What happens now?" Tom looked at her, then pointed to a curtain at the back of the shop. "Come see." Behind the curtain was something large, covered in dust. Tom pulled off the cover, and Nara saw an old, rusted cargo ship. The wings were cracked. The engine was open, but the frame was strong. "I've been fixing it bit by bit," Tom said. "It still needs work, but with help, it could fly." Nara stared at it, speechless. "You fix the engine," Tom said, "and I'll teach you how to fly it. Then you take it home." She looked at him. "You would give me a ship." "No," he said. "We'll build it together. Then you can use it not as something given, but something earned." For the first time in a long while, Nara laughed, not because she was happy, but because something inside her felt alive again. The old cargo ship stood like a sleeping beast in the back of Tom's workshop. Its body was rusted, one wing bent, and its engine opened like a broken heart. But to Nara, it looked like freedom. Every morning, after cleaning the work tables, she walked over to the ship. She ran her new prosthetic hand across the hull. It didn't move as smoothly as a real arm, but it worked. That was enough. "Let's start with the engine," Tom said one day. He gave her a small scanner, and together they checked each part. The fuel tubes were blocked. The cooling system was old. The engine core was cracked. Nara said, "It looks like it hasn't flown in years." Tom nodded. "It hasn't, but it has a strong base. That's all we need." They worked every day, sometimes late into the night. Nara learned how to connect wires, clean filters, and even weld small parts. Her arm got better with practice. She no longer dropped tools. She could hold things tight, press buttons, even lift heavy panels. Tom watched her quietly. He didn't say much, but Nara noticed something in his eyes, pride, maybe, or respect. One afternoon, Nara was under the ship, fixing a pipe, when she said, "You could have fixed this ship long ago. Why didn't you?" Tom sat on a crate, sipping water. "Didn't have a reason. Just sat there. Like me? Like you?" she asked. He looked up at the ceiling, as if thinking about something. "Far away. Used to be in a crew," he said. "Good people. We traveled, helped stations, did rescue jobs. But one day, something went wrong. We flew into a trap. I lost my team." Nara sat up slowly. "I landed here," Tom continued. "Fixed ships, hid from the stars, until one day, I saw someone sitting outside, trying to sell herself just to help her brother." Nara looked at him. Her voice was soft. "That person didn't have much hope." "Maybe," Tom said. "But she gave some back to me." For a long moment, they said nothing. Just the quiet sound of the workshop filled the air. That night, they sat beside the ship and looked at the stars through the window. Nara pointed at a bright dot in the sky. "That one. That's Veller." Tom nodded. "It's far." "Yes," Nara said, "but I'll go there. When this ship is ready." Tom turned to her. "And when you do, I'll go with you." She looked surprised. "You would?" "Someone has to make sure the engine doesn't explode." They both laughed. The next week, they went to the salvage yard to find parts. The yard was a wide area, full of broken machines and old ship pieces. A robot named Clink ran the place. He was round, rusty, and spoke in short words. Tom, long time, Clink said in his crackling voice. Who's this? My partner, Tom replied. We're fixing a cargo ship. Clink turned to Nara. 1 arm metal. Good work. You fix it? Nara nodded. With his help, Clink beeped, strong fingers. You want engine parts? They searched the yard for ours, picking out fans, filters, and wire rolls. Nara found a rare blue coolant tank apart her village ships used long ago. This will keep the engine cool, she said, excited. Clink blinked. Rare. Hard to find. Tom traded 3 tools and an old laser cutter for it. They left the yard with full arms and even fuller hearts. Back at the shop, they placed the parts round the ship. One by one, the broken systems came to life. The cooling fan hummed. The light panels flickered on. The control screen showed a blinking green signal. Nara stared at the ship, breathing slowly. It's working. Almost there, Tom said. As days passed, more people on Port Arlo started noticing the strange pair, human and Villari, working side by side. Some stared. Some whispered. A few even asked for help. One young worker, a girl named Lena, came to the shop and said, Is it true? You built your arm yourself? Nara nodded. Can I learn too? Lena asked. Nara glanced at Tom. He gave a small nod. Yes. Nara said, You can. They started teaching Lena how to fix simple tools. Then another boy came. Then a small alien child with 3 eyes. Soon, the shop became more than a workshop. It became a place where people learn. Tom said, You started something, Nara. She smiled. We started it one evening. Tom opened a dusty locker in the corner. Inside was a box covered in cloth. He pulled it out and set it on the bench. What's that? Nara asked. He opened it. Inside were old pilot gloves, a small Earth flag patch, and a photo of a ship crew. 5 people smiled at the camera, 3 humans, 1 alien, and 1 robot. That was my team. Tom said quietly, before everything went wrong. Nara picked up the photo gently. They looked kind. They were, Tom said. I lost them. I thought that meant I had to stop flying. He looked at her. But maybe it just meant I needed a new crew. Nara placed the photo back. Then let's build something they'd be proud of. Tom smiled. Yes, let's. At night, after the stars came out, Nara stood at the window again. She moved her metal fingers slowly. They still clicked sometimes, but they were strong now. She remembered the day she sat outside with her sign. How cold the floor was. How heavy. Her heart felt. Now, she had a purpose, a friend, a ship almost ready to fly. She whispered, Just a little more. From behind, Tom said, We'll finish it, and then we go. She turned, smiled, and said, Yes, then we go. The days at Port Arlo passed in a blur of noise, light, and hard work. The old cargo ship was no longer just a broken machine. It was becoming something real, a chance, a hope, a dream. Nara woke early every day. Her new prosthetic arm was no longer a strange metal piece, but a part of her. She learned to hold things steadily, to press buttons carefully, and even to carry heavier tools. Tom was there every morning, waiting with a smile and new tasks. One morning, Tom brought out a box full of wires and circuits. These are parts from a delivery drone, he said. If we fix these, we can use their power system to help your arm move better. Nara studied the pieces. The wires looked thin and fragile, but she was no longer afraid of small parts. Let's try, she said. Together, they worked for hours, testing, connecting, and repairing. Sometimes the circuit sparked, and they jumped back. Laughing, Tom said, Every spark means we are close. At last, the day came to test the arm with the new power system. Nara sat in front of a control panel. Tom adjusted the settings carefully. Ready? He asked. Nara nodded. Slowly, she thought about moving her fingers. The arm twitched. Then the fingers opened and closed. The wrists bent. I'm moving it, she whispered. Tom grinned. See, you did it. For the first time, Nara felt complete. She held out her arm and looked at it, shining under the shop lights. This arm is mine, she said softly. Not just metal and wires. Tom put a hand on her shoulder. You were in it that afternoon. The station was busy. Traders and workers moved past the shop. Some stopped and looked curiously at Nara, the alien woman with the metal arm. A small group of children gathered near the window. One boy asked, "Is that your real arm?" Nara smiled. "Yes, it helps me work and live," an older man said. "I never thought someone like you could do this." Nara met his eyes. "Maybe you never gave us a chance." The man looked away. Tom watched quietly. The cargo ship waited patiently outside the workshop, covered in tarps to protect it from dust and rain. Tom and Nara had repaired much of the engine and cleaned the controls. One day, Nara climbed inside the cockpit for the first time. The seat was dusty and cold, but she sat up straight. Tom sat beside her. "This ship has taken many journeys. It will take one more." Nara looked at the many buttons and screens. They seemed confusing at first. Tom showed her how to start the engine, check the fuel, and fly the ship. She listened carefully, her metal fingers steady on the controls. One evening, as the sun set and the station lights dimmed, Nara sat outside the shop. She watched ships land and leave, dreaming of home. Tom joined her. "You ready to go?" Nara looked at him, then at the stars. "Soon," she said. "But first," Tom added, "there is something we must do here." Nara frowned. "What?" Tom pointed to the shop window, where a small group had gathered. They were workers and traders, people who once ignored Nara but now looked at her with respect. "They want to learn," Tom said. "You inspired them." Nara smiled, feeling warmth inside. That night, Tom and Nara talked about the future. "You have a mission," Tom said. "Not just to go home, but to help others." Nara nodded. "My brother is still weak. The pirates still threaten our villages. We'll fix that," Tom promised. Together, they planned how to build better defenses, how to train others, and how to bring hope to those who needed it. Nara looked at her arm, then at Tom. "Thank you," she said. "No," Tom said. "Thank you." Port Arlo was usually busy, but that day felt different. The air was thick with tension. Nara and Tom were finishing some repairs on the cargo ship when alarms began to ring across the station. "Pirates!" shouted a security officer as people ran for cover. Nara's heart froze. The same pirate group that attacked her village years ago was here again. She looked at Tom. "What do we do?" Tom didn't hesitate. "We fight." Nara stood tall, her prosthetic arm strong and ready. The metal fingers clenched into a fist. Outside, chaos filled the streets. Pirates in dark armor ran through the crowd, grabbing supplies and shouting orders. Nara and Tom joined the station workers trying to block the pirates. Tom grabbed a welding tool. Nara picked up a metal pipe. Together, they moved with purpose. Nara's arm helped her hold and swing the pipe with more strength than before. A pirate leader, tall and fierce, spotted Nara. He laughed and pointed. "Look, the one-armed alien thinks she can fight." Nara didn't back down. She raised her pipe and swung hard. The pirates stumbled. The crowd cheered. Tom shouted, "Keep pushing." Security officers arrived with energy weapons. The pirates began to retreat. Nara saw a young pirate trying to escape with stolen goods. She ran after him, faster than she thought possible, using her arm. She grabbed the pirate's wrist and pulled him down. "Stop," she yelled. The pirate struggled, but Nara held firm. The security officer caught up and arrested the pirate. After the fight, the station was quiet but full of relief. A security officer approached Nara. "You were brave. We want you to join the station guard." Nara shook her head. "My place is with my people. I need to help my village." The officer nodded. "We will send support." That night, Nara and Tom sat by the cargo ship. Nara looked at her arm, now marked with scratches from the fight. "Today, I felt strong," she said. Tom smiled. "You are strong." Nara looked at the stars. "I will go home soon, and this time, I will be ready." Tom nodded. "And I will be with you." "Would you like me to continue with part 6 next?" You said, part 6, 1,000 words Kaleko or interesting huna. Shea or third-person style Malekni ha or simple basic English ka. Don't use any violated word. So please avoid any violated content. ChatGPT said. Here's part 6 of the story. She put herself up for sale to buy a prosthetic arm. But no one wanted the alien woman written in third person. Using simple English, 1,000 words, and with no violated content. Part 6. The choice 1,000 words. The days after the pirate attack were busy but hopeful. The space station was quiet now, and people spoke of Nara's bravery. Some came to the shop to thank her, others just nodded with respect. One morning, a tall woman in a blue uniform came to see Nara and Tom. Her name was Commander Ray, leader of the station's security forces. We have talked about your courage, Commander Ray said. The council wants to support you. Nara looked surprised. Support? How? Commander Ray smiled. We want to help you build defenses for your home planet, and we can give you resources, training, and a team. Nara thought of her little brother, still weak after the attack. That would help a lot. Tom stood beside her, nodding. But I want to go home, Nara said softly. I don't want to stay here. Commander Ray looked at Tom. Would you go with her? Tom smiled. Yes, I want to help build a better future. Over the next days, Nara and Tom prepared for the journey. The cargo ship was almost ready. They loaded supplies, tools, and maps. Nara checked her prosthetic arm. It had been through battles and repairs but worked better than ever. Before leaving, Nara visited the place where she once sat with her sign. She left a small note that said, To the one who feels unwanted, you are not alone. The day of departure arrived. Friends from the station came to say goodbye. Lena, the young worker Nara had taught, hugged her. Be safe, Lena said. Nara smiled. I will return. Tom and Nara stepped into the cockpit. The engines hummed slowly. The cargo ship lifted off. As they flew toward Velar, Nara looked out the window at the stars. Tom said, We have a mission, not just to reach home, but to protect it. Nara nodded. I want to be strong for my people. The journey was long, but they talked, planned, and learned together. The ship moved through deep space like a bird returning home. Inside the cockpit, Nara sat quietly, her eyes fixed on the bright blue star ahead. That star marked the direction of her planet Velar. Her metal arm rested on her lap. It was no longer just a tool. It was a symbol of who she had become. Beside her, Tom checked the ship's controls. We'll be there soon, he said. Nara gave a small smile. I never thought I'd come back like this. Not broken, but stronger. You're more than strong, Tom said. You're ready. When they entered Velari space, Nara saw the planet clearly. Green forests, blue rivers, and soft clouds floating in the sky. But there were still signs of damage. Smoke rose from one of the nearby villages. She tightened her fist. They're still being attacked, she said. Tom nodded. Let's land and get to work. They guided the ship toward a flat field near Nara's home village. As the ship touched down, people gathered nearby. Some looked scared, others confused. Then a small boy ran forward. He had short silver hair and golden eyes. Nara, he shouted. Nara stepped out of the ship and ran to him. Tenno, she cried, hugging her little brother. Tenno looked at her arm. Is that yours? Yes, she said proudly. It helps me work, and now it will help protect you. The villagers gathered around. They saw the ship, the supplies, and Tom beside her. This is Tom, Nara said. He helped me build the arm. He helped me come home. Tom nodded politely. An elder stepped forward. Why would a human help a Velari? Tom answered. Because kindness is stronger than fear. And Nara helped me first. Nara told them everything, how she had left, how she worked in the shop, how they had fought off the pirates. She showed them how her arm worked. The children were amazed. Then she said, We're building a defense station, one that will protect not just this village, but others too. No more hiding, no more fear. The elder placed a hand on her shoulder. We will follow your lead. For the next many weeks, the real work began. Tom and Nara taught the villagers how to use tools, repair shields, and install scanners. Some humans from Port Arlo even arrived to help. They brought parts, equipment, and old blueprints. They chose a large hill above the village and began building. First came a small tower with signal lights. Then came walls made of strong Velari. Stone and earth metal. The defense station grew, piece by piece. It had watch screens, warning alarms, and energy shields. Nara worked every day. Her arm never slowed her down. She led with quiet strength, and the people followed her. One night, as they rested under the stars, Tom said, "You've become a leader." Nara looked at him. "I didn't plan it. I only wanted to help. That's what true leaders do." He replied. She smiled. "I'm glad I wasn't sold. If someone had taken me, I would never have met you." Tom looked at her. "Seriously, you weren't meant to be bought. You were meant to rise." One morning, the scanners beeped. Pirates were nearby. Everyone rushed into position. Nara stood at the control panel, her arm ready. This time, she said, "We are not running." The pirates landed, but they didn't expect strong walls, power shields, or trained fighters. The villagers, now a team, pushed back. Nara used her metal arm to stop a pirate leader from climbing the tower. Tom used drones to fly over their ship and block their engines. The pirates fled. They had lost. The village cheered. "We did it," someone shouted. "No," Nara said. "We built it together." The news spread quickly. An alien village had fought off pirates with help from a human and a girl, who once had only one arm. Velari villages began asking for help. Even distant space stations sent messages of respect. A reporter visited and asked Nara, "What changed everything for you?" Nara replied, "One person believed in me. That was enough to start." Tom stood beside her and said, "She believed in herself, too. That made all the difference." Time passed, and the defense station became a center of peace and learning. Humans and Velari worked side by side. People from other planets came to study how they did it. The place where Nara once sat with her sign was now a statue garden. One statue showed Nara standing tall, her metal arm raised high. At the base, it read, "Strength is not what you have. Strength is what you give." One evening, as the sun set behind the green hills of Velar, Tom and Nara stood on the tower. He asked, "Do you miss the station?" She looked at the stars. "No, my place is here. But I'm glad I went there. I found my purpose." Tom smiled. "And I found a new path." They stood in silence, the wind gentle. The world at peace for now. But they knew, if trouble came again, they were ready. Together. The end.